we've talked previously about the President Trump's questionable hiring practices when it comes
Oh,
to
yeah.
military advisors, and he seems to churn and burn through them. We've spent Rand Paul and I spent a good portion of the show talking about John Bolton, who, other than his spectacular mustache, has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. But there is this pattern in the Trump administration where these tough guy generals go in, don't really get what they want, and then they
Right.
leave. And they don't say they're leaving because they didn't get to invade Syria. They say they're leaving for some other reason.
That's right. And as you know, good point on that, because another thing, and I think I included this in the article, was that James Mattis not only didn't leave because, you know, he was brokenhearted over all those dead children in Yemen. He left because Trump wanted to get out of Syria, and he didn't agree with that. At least that's the excuse he was given. I think, you know, when President Trump took over, I think he was awestruck by generals. I think he was overwhelmed by them, like many people are. But he has this, you know, inferiority complex to begin with. And I think that he was pretty much awed by their ribbons and their medals. And he was happy to bring them on because it gave him gravitas. It made him look strong on an area of policy that he had absolutely no experience in. And I think down the road, they weren't doing what he wanted. They weren't behaving the way he wanted. They were probably pretty condescending to him. Like I said, Trump is not one of them. And I'm sure that's come out, and in many ways. Now, I'm not gonna say that Bob Woodward and his books about, you know, these meetings where Trump just totally lost it and embarrassed himself. And I'm not saying any of that's true or not true. And I have no special insights, but I think what happened was there was probably a break, and there continues to be a break, because Trump doesn't like people who look down on him. And Trump is never going to get his way fully in the military-industrial complex. No president does. No defense secretary typically does. They usually just have to roll with it. And I think Trump is more comfortable with having political, you know, friends and people who don't stand up to him. And so he's been populating different positions within the Pentagon with, you know, people who are outside of that orbit, and that's making it worse. And for folks like me and you, it's not very good, because the people he's putting in there are typically people who are just business friendly. So they're all about, like, yeah, let's get those arms deals going, you know. So he's not putting non-interventionists in there. He's just kind of putting people who are closer to his sort of Wall Street way of thinking, and it's created some serious tensions. And I think that, you know, this election it's just shown that 500, you know, retired military brass are signing, you know, endorsement for Biden, compared to the 235 that Trump got. I mean, it's literally an arms race. It means nothing because nobody really cares, but it does show you that more of these guys are willing to go on the record and on television bad-mouthing the president, because they clearly see the writing on the wall, and they're like, this guy's got to go.